Yells, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Miss America's VW channel, and thank you to everyone who just recently subbed. I appreciate all of you. Today's topic is incredibly close to my heart, and we're talking about a groundbreaking development in postpartum depression treatment, and it's something that has the potential to change lives. So grab a cup of tea, get cozy, and let's dive into it.
Around 1 in 7 women experience postpartum depression after having a baby, and the FDA just approved the first ever pill to treat it. It's called Zurzuvae, and it's supposed to be taken once a day for 2 weeks. During the clinical trial, women saw their symptoms significantly improve after 3 days of using the pill, with the effects lasting for at least 45 days. That's pretty quick compared to other antidepressants, which can take about a month to kick in. PPD is a potentially life-threatening condition, where women experience sadness, guilt, and anxiety after giving birth. It can last for months or even years. Despite it being so prevalent, maternal mental health is often overlooked in medical research. This new pill basically boosts a natural steroid in the body called allopregnanolone, which can increase during pregnancy and then dip afterwards. Before this, the only other PPD treatment on the market was a 60-hour infusion at a hospital, which can cost around $30,000. 50% of women with PPD go undiagnosed, and oftentimes their symptoms are dismissed as baby blues or mood swings, but experts say treatment is needed, either in the form of therapy or medication. Zuranolone may not be the solution for everyone. However, it is a step towards reducing the stigma around PPD and seeking treatment.
If you've been following the latest advancements in maternal health, you may have heard about the PPD pill. This little pill is creating ripples of hope for mothers struggling with postpartum depression. I have been lucky enough to know a lot about the new medication, so if you have any questions or comments, drop them below the video and I will make sure to answer them. Last week, I got an email announcing the new PPD pill is now available in the United States. You know, as a mom and an advocate, I've seen the toll that postpartum depression can take on moms. It's more than just the baby blues. It's a real and challenging experience that many women face. But here's the game changer. The PPD pill isn't just another medication. Don't look at it that way. It's a new pathway. It's a beacon of light for those navigating the sometimes stormy seas of postpartum depression. What makes it so special? So, I personally know that it's designed to address the root causes and bring about genuine healing. I've done my research. I've also know a little bit about the project behind the scenes that I can't really speak a lot on, but I have also heard stories from moms who took the PPD pill, and they are truly inspiring. It's helping them rediscover the joy in motherhood, allowing them to be present and engaged with their little ones. What makes it so special? So, I personally know that it's designed to address the root causes and bring about genuine healing. I've done my research. I've also know a little bit about the project behind the scenes that I can't really speak a lot on, but I have also heard, as a mom myself, I know the struggles. I know how it feels to question if you're doing enough, if you're enough, especially if you are a mom with a child in the NICU or PICU. That's why I'm so passionate about sharing news like this, because every mom deserves a chance to enjoy the beautiful moments with her baby without the weight of postpartum depression holding her back.
Postpartum depression
depression medication, guys. To my pregnant women and to the women that just had babies, there is now a pill that the FDA approved. It's called Zurzuvae, and we now get medicine for postpartum depression. Apparently, it's a 14-day oral pill, but within 3, 4, 5 days, you can already tell a difference. And it's quicker. So all the other depression pills that you can take, this is actually working way faster, and it's way safer. They say it's like not as invasive. A midwife can prescribe it. A gynecologist can prescribe it. This is the first time the FDA has ever approved a medication for postpartum depression, because they say 1 out of 8 women experience postpartum depression. I think that's a false number. I think it's way more, including myself. I was going through it, but when I went to the gynecologist and they were like, oh, fill out this form, you know, are you depressed, are you whatever? I was like, I can't really tell you the truth. In my head, I was like, I can't tell them the truth because I don't want them to take my kid away from me or put me in like a mental institute. There's not enough education out there. But finally, there's medication that...
Talk about Zurzuvae. I hope I'm saying that right. Don't know, that's the new drug that just got approved by the FDA. For drug approved for postpartum depression. I have mixed feelings about it. One hand, I'm like, yes, like this is great, like women need this, and I'm glad that we have it for people who need it. It'll probably save lives. A long time coming. We should have had something like this for a long time. Then on the other hand, I'm like, okay, I don't want this to just be like a band-aid. People who really need more support. Because I think postpartum depression is tied in so closely to what support you have. Moms in the US have to go back to work at like 6 weeks. I had to go back at 8 weeks with my first. There's absolutely there's hardly any mental health support, definitely not free. Culture in the United States is very anti-mother. A lot of us don't live near family anymore. Our grandparents often have to work. There's just not a lot of family support. Our spouses, they have to go back to work. So to me, it's just we have such a flawed system to help new mothers. Our mothers need so much. Glad that there is a medication that can help. But are we just ignoring the bigger overall problem? Many of us go for our postpartum follow-ups and we are not okay. And unfortunately, there's only so much our doctors can do because the system is a broken system. Refer us, but we may not have the time or the funds to go to therapy, go to a pelvic floor PT, hire a babysitter, hire someone to come clean the house. For the things that we really need help with, there's just no support there. On one hand, yes, I'm glad we have it, but I'm also okay, what are y'all gonna do? What are we gonna do as a society about all these other problems that we really need to address as well?
I hear ya. So mental health support, there is a lot of options for that. The same company who made the drug has already released their Check on Mom program. VP Kamala Harris has recently announced the 1-833 TLC Mama hotline for mothers with postpartum depression. Also, there is great organizations like Glow Preemies, Moms Friends Inc., and Postpartum International Support that are willing to be there for you. There is also a financial support program for the PPD pill for those that cannot afford it, to make sure this is easily accessible to all. Now let's go down memory lane. Do you remember when I was on a national TV tour for the Check on Mom program a few years back? This is from the same company, and I am a huge advocate for this program, and no, I am not being paid to say any of this.
On a story we told you about last week, the FDA has officially first ever pill for postpartum depression, which affects 1 in 8 new mothers. This pill could be a game changer because it works fast, it's accessible, and it's easy to take.
I truly believe in destigmatizing mental health struggles and providing real solutions. And the PPD pill is a step in the right direction. And I encourage all the moms out there to have an open conversation with their healthcare providers about it. I've had the privilege of working closely with families navigating difficult circumstances. I've seen the resilience and strength that can emerge when we provide options beyond the traditional CPS route. There are various pathways we can explore, from community-based support programs to family counseling and education initiatives. It's about creating an environment that fosters growth and healing, instead of immediately resorting to separation. I've witnessed firsthand the transformative impact of alternative options. Families thrive when they're given the right tools and resources, and these alternatives focus on addressing the root causes of challenges rather than simply responding to crisis.
You said once a day a pill, and actually the effects lasted for 45 days after that. They're not sure, what the effects are in terms of long-lasting treatment and whether you might need another course. But, postpartum eventually does go away as time passes as well. So it might be just the 2 weeks and the 6-week effect of it may be enough for most women.
And just real quickly, we don't know yet if you can breastfeed while on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't study it yet for breastfeeding moms. So it's right now advisable to stop breastfeeding while you're taking it for 2 weeks.
Dr. Raj, thank you very much.
She was loved by all her family members. Contrary to what happened, she was loved by her mother. I don't care what no one says. What she did was monstrous, but she herself is not a monster.
Liliana's mother, 30-year-old Erin Murdy, was arraigned on murder charges in the drowning deaths of her 3 children, 3-month-old Oliver, 4-year-old Liliana, and 7-year-old Zachary. They were found unresponsive by police along Coney Island's shoreline last Monday. The children all lived with their mother, relatives say, but had different fathers.
I loved Zachary's smile, especially his dimples. He was also loved by his father.
Sources say Murdy was suffering from postpartum depression and was behind on rent payments. She continues to undergo a psychiatric evaluation in the hospital.
A close friend says first-time mother Anna England was struggling with postpartum depression. She says England had insomnia, but never talked about hurting her baby, Miles.
She was working with a therapist on it and seemed to be getting better. We thought she was better, and then all of a sudden she just took off.
On Saturday, she got a frantic knock on her door from England's boyfriend, Miles' father.
He came crying at my door.
He said he came back from using the bathroom to find England and his son gone from their home.
She randomly left with the baby. No shoes that we know of. They were still by the door, grabbed her bag, left her phone, and we weren't able to find her at any of the places she normally likes to go to.
The friend and the boyfriend called police. That evening, Boulder police found England driving to Boulder Community Hospital. Her baby was pronounced dead just before 11 p.m., and England was taken into custody. Heartbreakingly, the friend had not heard the news of Miles' death.
Did you hear that they found?
I did not.
I'm so sorry to be the one to tell you guys, but they found her and the baby had been passed away.
I was hoping it wouldn't happen and stay optimistic, but I always knew it would be a possibility. I'm so sad.
The friend plans to help Miles' father with funeral arrangements and says she will stand by England.
I'll still try to be there for her. I know at some point when she does come to her senses, I know she's going to hate herself and feel guilty.
Now she's calling for more awareness about postpartum.
For the first time, we're hearing from Patrick Clancy, Lindsay Clancy, in an emotional statement describing in detail just how much he loved and adored his family. Patrick writing that, quote, any parent knows it's impossible to understand how much you love your kids until you have them. The same goes for understanding the devastation of losing them. He says his family, quote, gave me purpose and I never took it for granted. There is now a massive void where that purpose once was. These words posted a day after his youngest son, Callan, died at the hospital. His wife, Lindsay, now facing 2 counts of homicide for the deaths of her 2 young children and can now face a 3rd count for the death of 8-month-old Callan. Prosecutors say Lindsay jumped from a window on Tuesday night in an attempt to take her own life. Patrick describing Callan as, quote, an incredibly happy and vibrant baby, constantly smiling. He says Callan, quote, died with enormous courage despite being so little. Maybe it was his way of demonstrating what I need to do to press forward. He says 5-year-old Cora had an infectious laugh and was stunningly beautiful. She used to say that she wanted to be a doctor and a mama when she grew up, and she would practice by giving Callan checkups. He says his 3-year-old son, Dawson, was, quote, naturally humorous and generous beyond the norm of a typical toddler, always willing to share his toys with others. Going on to say, quote, for all the love he received, he always gave back more. He also talks about his relationship with Lindsay, saying their marriage was wonderful and that it, quote, diametrically grew stronger as her condition rapidly worsened.
Some new information tonight in that tragic murder-suicide involving a Westchester doctor and her 4-month-old daughter. We have learned that the gun used was properly registered to the doctor's husband.
And sources tell CBS 2's Tony Aiello a postpartum mental health condition is a likely factor.
Postpartum mental health conditions impact up to 20% of new moms, according to the CDC. And investigators believe postpartum depression or more severe postpartum psychosis was a factor in the death by suicide of cancer doctor Crystal Cassetta after she shot and killed her 4-month-old baby girl at their home in Somers, Westchester County.
It was absolutely heartbreaking to hear this news.
Sleepy Hollow resident Adriana Pence is an advocate working to spread awareness of postpartum mental health. She experienced postpartum depression a decade ago after the birth of her first child.
I started to withdraw a lot from my surroundings. I was feeling very nervous. I became very worried about my daughter.
Cassetta was a highly educated doctor. Experts say postpartum mental health conditions impact women at every level of education and income.
Really does not discriminate based on education or age or how badly a woman wants a baby or wants to be a mom.
Psychiatrist Dr. Catherine Daniels says it's important to surround new moms with love and support and to be aware of behaviors that seem out of sync.
Very anxious and concerned about the welfare of the baby, women doubting their own ability to adequately care for the baby, and a real sort of sadness and disinterest and withdrawal.
Just this week, the FDA approved the drug Zuranolone to treat postpartum depression.
I think what's so significant about this is it brings attention to and progress in this area of treating postpartum depression, which gives all of us a lot of hope.
Tony Aiello.
It's not about placing blame. It's about working together as a community. We need to build bridges, not walls. By collaborating with families, social workers, educators, and community leaders, we can create a network of support that uplifts rather than divides. So let's reframe the conversation. Let's prioritize prevention, education, and community building. So that's it for today's vlog. Remember, you're not alone, and there is help available. If you found this information valuable, give it a thumbs up, share it with other moms who might need to hear this, and subscribe for more content on maternal health. Take care, mamas. You're stronger than you think, and there's always hope. Remember, leave comments on the bottom or any questions you may have, and I'll make sure to answer them.